Liverpool's summer business took a bold step into the future with the signing of Giovanni Leoni. At just 18 years of age, the Italian centre-back arrives from Parma with a reputation as one of Europe's most promising defensive talents. Leone is a defender who combines physical dominance with a maturity that belies his age. Born in Rome back in December 2006, he broke through with Padova at only 16 years of age before spells at Sampdoria and then on to Parma, where he established himself in Serie A during the 24-25 season. In just 17 league appearances, he showed enough to convince some of Europe's biggest clubs. Liverpool, of course, would act quickly, paying around 26 million for a player tied down until 2031 and crucially without loaning him back. That decision shows intent. Arne Slot wants him learning and competing in the Premier League environment straight away. And for a teenager who's already been compared to Virgil van Dijk for his stature and presence, the stage at Anfield could be where he takes the next leap forward. So I guess one of the biggest questions is, what type of a defender is Leone? First and foremost, I would say he's a natural competitor. At Parma last season, he stood out for his aggression in duels and dominance in the air, winning close to 2/3 of his aerial battles. Whether it was going toe-to-toe with seasoned Serie A strikers like Dusan Vlahovic or Romelu Lukaku, Leone never backed down. He thrives on physical battles, stepping out the back line to intercept, blocking shots bravely and heading danger clear with authority. At just 18, he already looks comfortable matching up against players with years of experience and muscle on him. I do believe that there is a misconception about Leone in terms of his size and his stature. He isn't just a battering ram at the back. Tactically, he's shown an adaptability beyond his years. Parma used him in both a back three and a back four, and he looked equally at home in each. In a three, he's aggressive in stepping out to meet forwards early. In a four, he's more disciplined, shuffling across to cover wide areas and recover centrally when the fullbacks push on. His scanning of space, positioning, and anticipation help him read danger before it develops. That kind of awareness that can only be sharpened further under Arne Slot's structured defensive system. That said, Leone is far from the finished article. One of his biggest areas for growth is on the ball. He tends to keep things simple, short passes into midfield or long clearances forward, and he does rank quite low in Serie A for progressive passing and ball carrying. In Italy, he could often rely on winning his duels and clearing danger. But in the Premier League, centre-backs are expected to break lines, switch play, and potentially launch attacks with precision. His mobility will also need to improve. While his frame gives him power in contact, he isn't the quickest across the ground, which can leave him vulnerable to fast strikers spinning in behind. In other words, Leone already has the raw tools that can't be taught: height, strength, bravery, and defensive instinct. What Liverpool will look to add are the finer details: composure in possession, speed in recovery, and decision making against the very best attackers in the world. So why did Liverpool move so decisively for Leone? Well, I do believe that the answer lies in both the present and the future. Arne Slot knows his defensive line is evolving. Virgil van Dijk is still the leader, still one of the best, if not the best centre-back in world football, but at 34, he won't be anchoring the back four forever. Liverpool needed a young, long-term potential successor, and Leone does fit the profile perfectly. At Parma, he showed the raw physical presence to dominate his box and the temperament to grow into a leadership role. Former Parma executive Martin Simmons even suggested he could be the next Van Dijk, a statement that reveals just how highly he is rated. Other clubs around Europe knew it too. Newcastle, Inter, Manchester United, all sides around Europe, all the top sides around Europe all had Leone on their radar. But Liverpool moved earlier than planned, fast-tracking the deal by a full year. That kind of tells you everything. They didn't want to risk losing him, and they believe his development will accelerate by working directly under Slot and alongside players like Virgil van Dijk, Konate, and Robertson. Of course, someone like Leone, he won't be the finished article overnight. His distribution and recovery speed will need polishing to meet the demands of the Premier League, but that's exactly why Slot wanted him now, to shape those qualities inside Liverpool's system rather than watch him refine them elsewhere. Leone is more than just another signing, he's an investment in the next era of Liverpool's defence, a player with the stature, courage and potential to grow into a cornerstone of the team. If he continues on his current trajectory, Anfield may have just found its heir to Virgil van Dijk.